Okay, so you've popped out a tiny human. Congrats! Now, get ready for the world's messiest, most rewarding rodeo, breastfeeding. Between you and me, I don't get the whole shoving a human on your nip thing, but hey, I'm told it's like nature's miracle or whatever. And trust me, I'm all about the miracle stuff. Look, I'm not gonna lie, breastfeeding can be hard, like harder than sneaking an enchilada past John Hard. But don't worry, your girl Chrissy's got your back. No, not literally. I'm not a lactation consultant. We're gonna break this whole breastfeeding thing down, step by step, so you can feel like a goddamn queen, even if you're covered in spit up and haven't slept since '09. Breastfeeding can be a rewarding experience for both you and your baby, but it can also be challenging, especially for new mums. Here are some tips to help you get started and make the process easier. First things first, as soon as that little munchkin pops out, get them latched on like a baby to a boob. That first milk, the colostrum, liquid gold, my friends. It's like the good stuff, the VIP section of breast milk, packed with nutrients and antibodies. Think of it as a welcome cocktail for your baby's immune system. And seriously, don't be afraid to whip those girls out. Skin-to-skin contact is key here. It's like a love language for newborns. Plus, it helps stimulate your milk production, which, let's be real, you're gonna need. Trust me, you'll be churning out more milk than a Wisconsin dairy farm soon enough. Okay, so getting a good latch is like the holy grail of breastfeeding. It's the difference between a happy, milk-drunk baby and a screaming banshee who's sucking your nipple like a Capri Sun. And trust me, you don't want to mess with a hangry newborn. Make sure that little mouth is covering the whole nipple and a good chunk of the areola. You know, that dark circle around your nipple? Yeah, that's the good stuff. If you're hearing clicking noises, that's your cue to adjust. You want a gentle tug, not a full-on nipple piercing. Get ready for the breastfeeding marathon, because in those first few weeks, your little one is going to be hungry AF. Like all the time. We're talking every 2 to 3 hours, even at night. I know, sleep is for the weak, but trust me, it gets better. And don't wait for your baby to start screaming their head off before you feed them. Watch for those hunger cues, rooting, sucking on their hands, that adorable little lip-smacking thing they do. You know, the subtle hints that they're about to turn into tiny, adorable dictators if you don't feed them this instant. Chapter 4. Hydration is key, and no, wine doesn't count yet. Listen, I know you're tired, but put down the Chardonnay and grab a giant water bottle. Breastfeeding is basically a 24/7 dehydration machine, so you've got to replenish those fluids, girl. Think of it as a spa day for your insides. And while you're at it, make sure you're eating enough. I'm talking healthy, nutritious food here, not just leftover pizza crusts. You're basically a milk-making factory now, and factories need fuel. Chapter 5. Nipple SOS. Because those bad boys need some TLC. Okay, let's talk nipple care, because those things are about to go through the ringer. First things first, breast milk is magic. Seriously, after each feeding, rub a little on your nipples and let them air dry. It's like a free, all-natural nipple cream. And if things get really rough, invest in some good quality lanolin cream. Trust me, your nipples will thank you. Oh, and change those breast pads like it's your job. Nobody wants to walk around with soggy boobs all day. Chapter 6. Getting comfy. Breastfeeding positions for every mood. Listen, you're going to be spending a lot of time with your boob out, so you might as well get comfortable. Experiment with different breastfeeding positions until you find one that feels right. Cradle hold. football hold, side lying. Hell, you can even breastfeed upside down if you're feeling adventurous. And don't be afraid to use pillows for support. Prop those babies up, lean back, and relax. Well, as much as you can relax while a tiny human is latched onto your nipple. Chapter 7. Milk Supply. Drama. Because your boobs have their own soap opera. Okay, let's talk milk supply. It's a delicate balance, like 1 minute you're drowning in the stuff, the next minute you're convinced your boobs have gone dry. The key is to feed frequently in the beginning to establish a good supply. And if you're struggling, don't be afraid to pump. It's like a workout for your boobs, but instead of getting ripped, you get more milk. And if you're really struggling, talk to a lactation consultant. They're like the boob whisperers. Chapter 8. Burping 101. Because nobody likes a gassy baby, except John. All right, after each feeding, make sure you burp that little one. Babies swallow a lot of air when they eat. And trust me, a gassy baby is not a happy baby. Unless you're John, he thinks farts are hilarious. Hold your baby upright, gently pat their back, and wait for that satisfying burp. It's like music to a new parent's ears. Well, except for the sound of your baby actually sleeping. Chapter 9. Patience, young Padawan. Breastfeeding is a marathon, not a sprint. Listen, breastfeeding is a learning curve. It's gonna be messy, it's gonna be frustrating, and you're gonna want to throw in the towel, or the nursing bra, more than once. But trust me, it does get easier. Just be patient, be persistent, and don't be afraid to ask for help. And remember, every baby is different. What works for one mum might not work for another. So just do what feels right for you and your little one. Chapter 10. You've got this, Mama. Finding your breastfeeding tribe. Okay, here's the thing. You don't have to do this alone. There are lactation consultants, breastfeeding support groups, online forums. Basically, a whole community of women who have been there, done that, and are more than happy to help you navigate the wonderful, messy world of breastfeeding. Seriously, reach out. Talk to other mums, share your struggles, celebrate your victories. Because motherhood is hard enough without trying to do it all by yourself. Title, Is My Baby Eating Enough? Spoiler alert, probably yes. Okay, so you're feeding around the clock. But how do you know if your baby is actually getting enough to eat? First things first, check those diapers. In the first week, you should be seeing at least 6 wet diapers and 3 to 4 poopy diapers a day. And yes, I said poopy. Get used to it. Also, your baby should be gaining weight steadily. Your paediatrician will track their growth at each checkup. And trust me, if they're not getting enough to eat, you'll know it. Chapter 12. Pumping and Storing. Building your liquid gold reserve. Listen, I get it. Sometimes you just need a break from your little milk monster. That's where pumping comes in. It's like having a personal milkmaid, except it's a machine, and it doesn't judge you for wearing the same pajamas for 3 days straight. And once you've pumped that liquid gold, you got to store it properly. Clean bottles, airtight bags, and the back of the fridge, not the door. Think of it as a mini milk bank for your little one. Chapter 13. Mama needs a timeout. Taking care of your mental health. Okay, let's get real for a second. Breastfeeding can be tough, like really tough. And it's easy to get so caught up in taking care of your baby that you forget to take care of yourself. But listen up, Mama, you matter too. So take a break, ask for help, and don't be afraid to put yourself first every once in a while, because a happy mama equals a happy baby, and a happy Chrissy because nobody wants to see me hangry. Chapter 14. Formula is not a four-letter word. It's okay to supplement. Listen, here's the thing. Fed is best. Whether you're breastfeeding, formula feeding, or doing a combination of both. The most important thing is that your baby is getting the nourishment they need. There's no shame in supplementing with formula if you need to. In fact, sometimes it's the best thing you can do for yourself and your baby. So give yourself a break, Mama. You're doing great. Chapter 15. Weaning. The bittersweet goodbye to the boob. Okay, mamas, all good things must come to an end, and that includes breastfeeding. When you're ready to wean your little one, and trust me, you'll know when the time is right, do it gradually. Start by replacing one feeding at a time with formula or solid food, depending on your baby's age. And don't be surprised if you feel a little emotional about it. Breastfeeding is a beautiful bonding experience, and it's totally normal to feel a little sad when it's over. Outro. You did it. Now go. Treat yourself to a giant plate of nachos. Congratulations, Mama. You made it through the wild, wonderful, and often exhausting world of breastfeeding. Give yourself a giant pat on the back, or maybe a massage. You deserve it. Remember, every baby, every mum, and every breastfeeding journey is different. There are going to be good days and bad days, but the most important thing is that you're doing what's best for you and your little one. And if all else fails, just remember, wine exists for a reason. Okay, gotta go. John's making his famous guacamole, and you know I can't resist that. Stay strong, mamas.